Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Carrie. I'm a 29-year-old vegan living in the UK in Bristol. I live with my partner who isn't vegan but eats vegan with me, and I've been vegan for just over 8 years now. I'm currently doing a £100 budget challenge for the whole month of January, almost at the end now. The end is in sight. That's for all of my grocery shopping for myself and my partner. This is week 4 of the challenge, so I'm going to go through what we ate, what we bought at the grocery store, how we're feeling, and then my kind of thoughts for the next 2 days. So what I'll be doing is the last 2 days will come in a separate video along with a roundup and kind of my general thoughts on the challenge. But week 4 is here. It's been fine. It's gone so quickly this week, actually. I think this has been the quickest week. Maybe it's because I was eating at home like every day this week, so it's just gone quicker. I didn't have things breaking it up. Things are good. I did have to buy a couple of things this week that you'll see that will last us beyond the challenge, but I do think that's just more realistic of how people spend. So yes, we'll definitely have some food left over at the end, which we'll get into in the final video next week. But we'll start with the grocery shopping and what we bought. So I hope you enjoy. Welcome back to the shopping element. This week we have shopped at 2 different stores, which are Aldi and Lidl. For those who don't know, haven't watched previous videos, I've got an Aldi, Lidl and Morrison's all one after the other on the same road. So it's very convenient for me to be able to go into multiple shops and get deals from all of them. So I know I'm very privileged to be able to do that. So I will start with Aldi. I got the majority of things from Aldi, and that was because I had cash back on my bank card. So I have a couple of different bank accounts. One of them is with Monzo, and they regularly have cashback deals where you have to opt in to the cashback and then you'll get cash back. Sometimes it's one transaction, sometimes it's multiple within the kind of validity period. But this was one transaction at Aldi I could get 2% cash back on. I know that's not a lot, but if you look after the pennies, the pounds will look after themselves, or so I hear. So I decided to get the majority of what I needed at Aldi and then just the things that were on offer at Lidl. So I will start with the oat milk. We got this oat barista style, the Actileaf, which is just Aldi's own brand of it. Now, you will remember that we got lots of oat milk at the start of the challenge from Ocado, but we did run out of that this week. So we made it almost the whole month just on those oat milks, which I was really proud of. And that was £1.09 for that, so not bad at all. The next thing I got were these udon noodles. There's 4 bundles in there, and that was £1.09, and that was on their like special buys this week. Let me show you a bit closer. Yeah, so that's on their special buys this week. So it's not available all of the time, but I saw online that they were doing those, and I wanted to get them as it's a better deal than getting the straight to wok ones, which are 85p for 2 servings. So you get double the servings, and it's obviously not twice the price, so ideal really. The next thing I got were these chestnut mushrooms. Love a mushroom. And those were 89p. And then just got 500 grams of carrots because we've only got 5 days left, so I didn't need a kilo of carrots. And these were only 38p for the 500 grams, so I thought that's better for the budget, and we don't need a kilo of carrots. We won't get through them. As it is, I'm not sure we'll get through the full 500 grams, but we'll see how we go. We'll give it a good shot. Next thing were these blueberries. These were £1.39. I ran out of frozen blueberries this morning. And again, this was one of those things that, because we've only got 5 days left, it was cheaper for me to get the fresh than the frozen for the amount of servings that I wanted from them. So I would definitely recommend the frozen. I've been really enjoying them that way, but I just wanted to just focus on the next 5 days and what would be better for that. And yeah, the fresh at £1.39 is cheaper than the frozen. Next are these bananas, just a 5-pack here, and they were 78p. And then finally, I got a rice. Now, I did get a kilo of rice. I'm obviously not going to go through a kilo of rice in the next 5 days, but we needed it for at least one meal we're having. And it's only, I think it's 45p for a microwave packet of rice, which has got 2 servings in, or you pay 52p for, how many servings does it say this has? 13. So, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not passing that up. I'm going to buy this one. I know that it's more convenient to have the microwave rice, but if you're already cooking a meal anyway, then I really don't mind the extra effort. That is everything that I got in Aldi. That came to £6.14, which I paid, and I will get 13 pence back from doing that shop on my banking app, but I'm not sure when that will come through, so I'm going to count the full amount as used in the budget, and then it will just be a nice surprise when that comes back. But I'd really recommend that you look at your bank, because it's not just Monzo that does it. I think Revolut do it as well. I don't bank with them, but I know that other more traditional bank accounts also have cash back available. Okay, and the next shop and final shop was Lidl. So the first thing that we got, which we actually got at the end of last week, but it came from this week's budget and we haven't eaten it since this week, was these Granny Smith apples. It was a pack of 6 for 99 pence. So the flyer runs for a week with these like deals, which are pick of the week in Lidl. I now know it's called Super 6 is Aldi, pick of the week is Lidl. So yeah, those were on until like the last day of last week for us. So we just went in and got them and used from this week's budget, 99 pence. How could you say no to that? And then on this week's pick of the week are these red peppers. So these are down from 59p to 39p, which is a really good deal. So I got 2 of those as we finished the frozen peppers last week as well. And they're 2, you know, it's just for the pepper. You don't weigh them. So I got 2 like big chunky ones so that we can get the most of our money. And then I do have a little bit of yogurt left, but I will run out before the end of the week. And this was still on offer for 87p, which is just insane. 500 grams of vegan yogurt for 87p. How could you say no to that? And that is with the Lidl Plus app. So you do need the Lidl Plus app for this deal, whereas for the apples and the peppers, you don't need the app. But the app doesn't cost anything, so I'd really recommend you get that. The final thing, which I don't have out here, but I'll just put into shop now, are these. It's a kilo of French fries. Now, these were another Lidl Plus app deal. So you did need the app to do it, but again, totally free of charge to have the app. And these were, I think, 30% off. They were down from £1.35 to £1, which is such a good price for a kilo of chips. So we've still got those Linda McCartney burgers and some buns. So we'll definitely have burgers and chips for one meal for the rest of the challenge. I'm really happy with everything that I bought. So in Lidl, I spent £3.64, and that's for chips, apples, peppers, and yogurt. And then in Aldi, £6.14 for everything else shown. And like I say, I will get 13p back on that, but I'm not sure when, so we'll just go with the full amount of £6.14. We'll start with breakfast. So this is frozen blueberries mixed into the yogurt with just a banana cut up and on the top there. Next is another yogurt bowl, just with the fresh blueberries this time, some cut up banana and a cup of tea. And you can assume that I have a cup of tea with everyone. And then this day I had a bacon sandwich with the leftover bacon and a roll and some ketchup. And if we move on to lunches, this is the last portion of the leek and potato soup with some cut up toast and margarine. And then this is the last carrot and parsnip soup with some cut up toast and margarine. So not very inventive, I'm afraid, for these 2 days. But the next day I did have a baked bean and cheese toasty, which was very yummy indeed. I'd really recommend this if you haven't tried a baked bean toasty. This was some black-eyed beans that I made in the Instant Pot with red pepper and onion and some rice. And then I've just got some kimchi noodles with leftover vegan chicken seitan that I made. Next up we have dinners. This was miso tofu with broccoli and kimchi fried rice with the last of that Aldi egg. And then this night we had bolognese and meatball sort of pasta. We just did a mix here to get rid of both of those kind of half packets that we had. And I forgot to film this, I'm so sorry, but this is udon noodles with the stir fry pack and tempeh with sweet chili sauce. This night I had pasta with butternut squash sauce, which I made with the leftover butternut squash I had in the freezer, and some roasted chickpeas on top, which was super delicious. I loved that. And then I had a vegan chicken and mushroom risotto this night with some broccoli. The broccoli is still going, honestly, guys. There's still more in the freezer. I'm never gonna get enough of this broccoli. So that is everything we ate and bought this week. I will preface it by saying my partner did eat out a couple of times this week. So you'll see, I've seen some of the meals with just a single serve. That's just realistic. Our day-to-day life and what we've got planned in, you know, social events really centre around sharing food, drinks, that sort of thing. So we're not going to extend the challenge by any means or, you know, get enough meals, and we're going to have food left over at the end. So we could have done it with no eating out. But as I've said in previous videos, that comes from a separate budget. I will say I feel like our eating out has decreased significantly this month because I've been doing the challenge and wanting to show you guys what we've been eating. So that has been an unexpected bonus of doing it, I think. I've really enjoyed the meals that we've had this week. There have been a couple of meals which I really enjoy, but I've been maybe avoiding showing or avoiding having because then I have to show it because I think they're really stereotypical what you think of with vegans. So like beans and rice or like chickpea pasta and stuff like that. But actually it's really tasty. There's a reason why vegans eat it. But I'm sorry, have you made your own beans and rice? Like if you make your own beans, they're so tasty, they're delicious. Like I really enjoy that meal, so I'm not going to not have it just because it looks, I don't know how it looks. But we have still, you know, had the seitan. I had some meat substitutes in there as well, so it's not all been beans and rice, obviously. I've finished the soup now. There's so much that's finished and gone, so we've got 2 days left now to get through. We're going to get there and then some. So yeah, we'll definitely have a lot of food left over. And I think as well, it's worth noting that we didn't shop until day 5 of day 7 this week. We were able to hang on until then, which will have helped the budget and not going over, hopefully not going over. I've still got 2 days to go, so let's see. But yeah, not going over the budget and that sort of thing. And that's something that we do in our everyday lives as well. So we do try and stretch as long as we can before we have to go to the grocery store. And I know that's only a couple of days, but it adds up over a year, and then you might have gone, you know, a few times less over the course of the year and spent less money. So I think that's a really good way to be mindful and to make sure you're using up everything that you have before you're going back into the shop, before you have to. So that's a little tip there that I would recommend. So I just wanted to do a bit of a roundup of the budget. So on day 1, with our first like Ocado shop and that big bulk buy, we started with £48.33 spent. And then in that first week, we spent an additional £11.87. Week 2, we spent £13.53. Week 3, £13.79. And then this week, week 4 that we've just had, spent £9.78. So overall, that means £97.30 have been spent, and that is with 2 days left in the challenge, that kind of week 5. So we have £2.70 remaining of that budget for the final 2 days. This challenge so far has been really enjoyable and also has been not that hard, which I think is telling because it sounds like an impossible task and actually it's been really okay. So if you know where the deals are, then it's completely doable and I'd really recommend doing it. So thank you so much for watching this week's video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. Let me know in the comments whether you think you could do a low spend January with just £100 for the whole month. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to connect with you in the comments. It's been so great getting to know some of you in the comments. So yeah, thank you so much. See you next week for the final video where we'll have the last couple of days of eating and then kind of conclusion whether we've stayed on budget and thoughts on how it's been.